Like to come?
Is that too loud?
The masses are coming. Well, let's get started.
Okay, Brian.
I'd like to welcome everybody to the Rendezvous. Should I give the formal Rendezvous greeting?
Yeah.
Wow! Wow! Have I not taught you anything? Wow, pilgrims!
Ah, Pilgrim.
A little bit better, thank you. Well, you guys having a great time at the Rendezvous?
Yeah.
Do you know what the numbers are? About 810 boys and 405 adult leaders. 2 to 1. I think that's pretty awesome. Tells you how great this Rendezvous is and how much the adult leaders enjoy it as well. How important it is. Staff members, there's over 300 plus. There's guys that are here that we don't even know they're here. that are helping on staff. You know, the ones that didn't sign up for food. Anyway, we really appreciate you being here and bringing your teams. It's great activity, and it's known all over the United States how great this activity is, and it's because of the team coaches and their captains, and of course the ADCs that put on the outposts. Appreciate it a lot. Today, we'd like to start with the opening prayer. Brother Ron, could you offer that, please?
Our Father in heaven, we thank Thee for this marvelous day and this opportunity to be here. We thank Thee for so many dedicated and skilled people who teach and lead and inspire. Please bless them all. Please bless these young people to realize the blessings available in following the precepts here, that Thy Spirit may be here as we listen to instruction. In the name of Jesus Christ, amen.
Thank you, Brother Pratt. I'd like to introduce our special guest that we have for this rendezvous. It's Brother Winston Egan. He's from the General Young Men's Board. And when we put these rendezvous on, it's always a privilege to have someone from the General Young Men's Board or presidency come and visit with us to give us some training, leadership, inspirational words, so that we can take those back to our young men and to our wards, Aaronic priesthoods, and help those young men be better people. So, Brother Egan, it's all yours.
Well, brethren, I'm really tickled to be here. I just want to give you some context for my being here today. When you're called to serve on the Young General Board, it's usually 5 years. And in April of last year, just before April conference, President Mack and his counselors said, we want to know if you're going to be willing to spend 1 more year. So in April, this April, we will all be released. So this is sort of my last hurrah, so I want to make it really good. And I want to start with a very kind of weird story, okay? This will give you a feel for at least what we typically do. We meet every Tuesday night at 5 o'clock on the 20th floor of the church office building. We begin with a hymn, and then an opening prayer, then a spiritual thought, and then we have some training. And one of the things that happens is we think, we're going to get out early, but we usually go from 5 until 10. This past Tuesday, we left at 10:05. And on Sundays, if I lived in your area, I would be coming to your ward as opposed to my own, and I might come for the entire block. So I'd come and see what happens during sacrament meeting, see what happens with the passing of the sacrament. Is everybody there in a timely fashion? How do the boys do it? How do they respond? And then I'd go to the Come Follow Me Sunday school class, and I'd see what's happening there. And then I'd go either to the teacher's quorum or the priest quorum. So rarely would I go to my own ward. So here's the story. I was serving at BYU in a single state, and and then I'm called to this capacity. Our ward in which we lived was created new, and we had just barely moved into a new home. And on a given, weekday, I decided I'm going to go to the Timpanogos Temple. Well, this is one of the dumbest things I've ever said, but this is exactly what happened. So I walk in, and I pull out my wallet, and I go, oh, I don't have my reckoning. So I go up to the desk, and this fellow says, well, what ward are you in? And I said, I have absolutely no idea. And the guy looked at me like, oh, are you serious? And I said, well, just a minute. Oh, I do know who my bishop is. His name is Bishop David Brewer. He said, well, I know Bishop Brewer. I'll give him a call. So I kind of wait at the desk. And about 15 minutes goes by, and the temple worker comes back, and he said, well, I called, Bishop Brewer, he wasn't there. And I called your stake president, President Lou. And then he had this big pregnant pause and said, he told me he's never seen you before. Okay. So I'm just thinking it's going downhill. I'm not even going to be able to go to the temple. Then he said, but he told me you're a good guy. No. So here's what I'm hoping will happen today, is that we'll give you some first-rate ideas. So if I came, or if a member of your stake, the young men presidency came, or your stake president came, or anyone else of any kind of authority, that they would be blown away by what you do. Does that sound fair? So we're going to start, and by the way, we're going to try and mirror a lot of things that I would hope you would do if you are teaching anything like Come Follow Me. Okay, so here's our first activity. Now, if you know anything about Come Follow Me, it's all about engagement, right? So all of you find one person next to you, either two or three, and shake hands and introduce yourselves. Go.
We got it.
Okay, now we've got you all interacting. And one of the things that's going to be really good today is when we ask for some people to respond, this is a really good strategy. You just point to someone, okay? I mean, I'll be looking and I might say, that guy right there with his hands folded with the straw hat on, with the plaid shirt, with the gray shirt, with the glasses, would you mind coming? So I want you to do this in teams right now. I want you to brainstorm what this has to do with the Aaronic priesthood or scouting. Go, start talking to your partner.
Be clean.
Okay, well, I think we've already got some good stuff. Keep going. Okay, now this is what we're going to do. I actually brought with me, I think I brought 15 silver dollars. I better not tell you what they are. No, just kidding. And if anybody can come up with the way this really is connected, I'm going to give you one. Okay? So we're going to start with what you said.
What my group said?
No, what you said.
Keeps you clean.
Keeps you clean. Okay, that's good. Okay. Is this one church approved? This one that you're going to give?
Yes, it is. It cleans up a mess.
Cleans up a mess. Okay. Let's try these brethren right here.
I believe I said it was finishing the job.
Good job.
No work is ever done until the paperwork is done.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Actually, I did this once with a young adult group in a Sunday school class. And it was so awkward. The girl said, "Oh, wipe away my sins." I said, that sounded really scout-like to me. Okay, now, if somebody next to you that's relatively close said something that you think the other man ought to hear, point at him right now. Okay, point up, brother.
So I play this game with my scouts and my young men all the time. It's liking this to the gospel. So toilet paper is a revolution of every single Sunday and every single month and every single year. We tell them the same things over and over and over and over again, and eventually, hopefully, become something useful to them that they can go forward in life and clean themselves up with.
That was impressive. Okay. That was close to a silver dollar. That was really close. Okay, we're going to give somebody else one. How about over here? Somebody who said something that was really kind of... Okay, here we go.
Life goes by so fast that if you don't set your sights high, you're going to miss the mark of what you could have been.
Wow. Okay. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. I need to have you three brethren come and stand up right here. And by the way, in my estimation, this is what your job is all about. Or you could say this is what your role is all about, okay? So I want you to imagine that these are three teachers, and I'm the newly called, okay, teacher advisor. And I've invited them over to my home tonight to just kind of get things rolling. And they could be potentially the presidency, okay? So this is what we're going to do. I'm Brother Egan, and I am so psyched to be your advisor. I was hoping that I would get a call to work with young men. So what I'm going to do is tell you just a little bit about myself, and then I want you as teachers to tell me something about yourself, something like this. This is what I really like to do. This is something that I'm looking forward to. And this is something that I'm working on. Okay? So, something that I really like to do is right here in this backpack. And you'll see them later on tonight. One's orange and one's yellow. I got you curious? A little bit? Something that I want to do is I want to ride my bike up over Suncrest and around the point of the mountain, which will probably kill me. Something that I'm working on, trying to do much better, is I'm trying to be much more authentic in my prayers.
Hang on, do you want to drop this? Well, I really enjoy video games, and I try to be nicer to my little brothers, and I'm really trying to do a little bit better in school. I know Mom and Dad don't think I try, but I really do. I'm trying to get straight A's this semester.
You need to hold on. No, I mean you need to hold on to it.
Okay,
Wait, let me just start with, what did you just say?
without breaking it.
Without breaking it. That's kind of a big hint. Keep remember that, brother. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm a teacher, age boy. So I like to go to Mountain Rendezvous. Okay, and hang on to it, Mike. Okay, and I'd like to go backpacking. I don't know.
It sounds like a teacher.
Something I'm working on. School. Something that I want to accomplish in my life. Mission.
Okay, so brethren, I know this is kind of a stretch, but at one point in time, when I had the privilege of serving as a freshman ward bishop at BYU, we would take all the leaders in our ward up to a family cabin, and we would get out a ball of yarn and do much the same thing. But we called it networking then, a way of becoming connected. But I forgot the yarn. And then I thought, what else could I use? And I went, toilet paper. Now, I want all of you in your teams right now to give me another word for what this is. Go, in your teams. What is this besides toilet paper? Go.
Team building.
A connector. Do we have any physicians here today? Or like EMT or? You are? Come on down. Come on down really quickly if you would. Okay, while he's coming down, we still haven't gotten this word yet. What is this right here that I'm holding in my hand? How about let's try a T word. Tissue. Tissue. Okay, you ready?
I'm not ready.
Well, let's give it a shot. Here's the that's good. Well, if you work with boys, that's probably good. Okay. Tell me what connective tissue is.
Connective tissue is a tissue that holds other tissues together.
Okay, that's good. That's very good. Thank you. You can sit down. That was all I needed. Okay, so this is what this is. This really is connective tissue. And when you're working with boys, you want to lay down as much of this as you can. It's connective tissue. And what happens is if we keep doing it, like the good brother said, pass it back this way. So hold on to yours. Is that after, no, I want you to hold on to it. Make a loop, yeah. Is that after they've spent hours and hours with you, they say, you know what? Oh, I was hoping that would happen. Okay, so what happens is initially when we're working with boys, at the very beginning we have to be what?
Careful.
Yeah, you have to be careful because it's really easy to what? Yeah, break the tissue. So your job is to figure out how do I lay down connective tissue with boys. Thanks, brother. That was good.
You're going to waste all this?
You can keep going. Okay, so here's what I want you to do. I want you to think about a really significant way that you right now lay down connective tissue with boys and share with your partner. Go ahead.
You know, you have to bind them together.
And be with them. Give them expectations and expect them to follow through. Give them your expectations and expect them to follow through. Talk to them. Be like them. Actually listen to them. Start asking them some questions and then just listen to them.
Okay. Now, this is going to be not profane, but it's going to be pretty powerful. At least I hope it will be. Is kids, young men, teenagers, young adults, have a great nose for crap. Now, another way for saying that is they have a great nose for whether you're authentic or not. Let me tell you, they can sniff you out just like that. And if they really sense that you like them, that you love them, in fact, if they said something like this, you know, when I'm around Brother Moore, I really feel good. I really want to be like him. I love the kind of dad he is, the kind of father he is. I love the way that he connects with his kids. I just feel really, really good around him. Now here's another related statement. And President, would you stand up? Come on up here. Let's play like he's my mission president, and let's play like I could say this. When I get home, you know, if the church is anything like my mission president, I want to be part of it. Boys are looking to you for energy, for example, for modeling. And if you do it really well, they're going to be like you. Okay, thank you. So here's another story. And I'm going to, let's go up here. This good brother that has the glasses on. Oh, you just took them off. Okay, so I am serving in a bishopric, and then I'm called to be a member of the stake presidency. And, you know, we would go through the wards, and we'd say we're going to be there for about an hour on a given Sunday. and then people would kind of, sign up. So I want you to imagine your brother Jensen, okay? And then there's 1, 2, 3, 4 of you back there, and you'll find out who you are momentarily. So I played basketball against Brother Jensen a lot. He was really good, and he was a really great guy. So I come up to him and I said, "So you want to get your recommended interview? Where's your wife?" That's about what he said. I said, "Well, okay, let's do this. Why don't you just bring your kids in? Because some of them were kind of young, and we'll just have them sit behind you." And I had a good feeling that nothing was going to go awry. So I'm sitting here, and you know how it goes, Brother Jensen. You have faith in, and you know all the questions, right? Yeah, here's the question. Brother Jensen, do you earnestly strive to do your duty in the church, attend your priesthood and sacraments, and honor the other covenants and promises that you made?
Yes.
Okay, so Brother Jensen says yes. And then this little boy raises his hand in the back. Go ahead, raise your hand. The little boy said, "Dad, that's not exactly right." So I thought about every, maybe every other year you just gotta have the kids come in and or give them one of those little mobile devices where they had to get a 5 or better, on a 5-point scale. Because they know what? Yeah, they know everything. And one of the things that would tell us that you are on the money is have your kids say nothing. Or say something, "Dad, you are so right." So kids really understand what you're doing, how you're behaving, and they're going to sniff out, if you are not behaving yourself. Okay, here we go. We're going to do a chant right now. Are you ready? So right now you know a lot about connective tissue, right? And its role. Okay, good. Pretty much experts. And you want boys to exit their experiences to you saying, "Oh, I really like that guy. I like the way I feel about him. He knows me really well. He helps me discover who I am. And even if I'm maybe not the most talented kid, he knows what I do well. Or he gives me an idea as to what I could do better." Okay, so here's the chant. Get ready. I'm going to just say it once, and we're going to do it about 3 times. A quorum is more than a class. Here we go. A
Quorum is more than a class.
A
Quorum is more than a class.
A
Quorum is more than a class.
Now turn to your partner and interpret what you just chanted. Go.
As well as a lot for experimenting. Having grand experience.
It's the application. It's the lab experience. It's classroom teaching. We've been saying that for a long time.
Yep, we have.
Okay. If you heard something really impressive from your partner, raise your hand. That looks like a hand raise up there with a feather. You got something to say? I hope. Okay, good.
The class you just go through and somebody teaches you. You just sit there and half the time you probably don't pay attention. A quorum, you actually sit there and you accomplish something.
It's dynamite. By the way, you can tell really quickly if you go into a priest quorum and if about 90% of the chairs are tipped back against the wall and they're kind of seated like this, you know that you're in a class. If I were to go to your quorum, like on this Sunday, your teacher's quorum, what would blow me away? I mean, what would just kind of blow me out of the water? Tell your partner, what do you think that would be? I heard a good one. I love that one.
If the quorum advisor was sitting back with his
Okay, here we go.
The young man in our quorum teaches a lesson, and the advisors only comment once in a while.
Oh, that was fantastic. If President Beck were here, he'd probably give you a hug. He said the boys are doing what?
They're teaching the lesson.
Okay, now, this is a great, there's a book called Soul Searching. It's written by 2 sociologists that aren't members of our church. And every year they do a national study on youth of all the faiths. one of the things they know about Mormons in particular, both boys and girls, is they know how to do this relative to the gospel reasonably well. I know this will surprise you, but in contrast to everyone else except for black fundamentalist Baptists, we come off great. And they come off great in that they can articulate the doctrines that they have in their church, or that we have in our church. And by the way, there are some people who have major concerns about having young people teach. But if you go to the Doctrine and Covenants, there's sort of a statement that says they are to what?
Teach, preach,
Yeah,
expound.
expound, exhort, teach. So if they are teaching, oh, let me tell you, and he said something else. He said the men in the group do what? They mostly watch. Now, I went to a court meeting this Sunday, and there were 6 men and 9 boys. 80% of the conversation occurred with whom? The men. President Beck thinks, if we were going to do manuals, now they're all online. Guess what we put with the manual? Close, close. But now these things come in multicolors, so you can guess what it is. Duct tape. It could be red, it could be green, it could be pink, it could be polka dots. Because we want boys to do what? Yeah. Yeah, learn how to interact. Now, because we've moved up the missionary age, we believe that the MTC, the very first one, is their home. Where's going to be the second one? The quorum, their third one? Could be seminary, but it could also be their Sunday school class. Okay, good brother. Have you been on a mission?
I have.
Stand up, would you? Tell me what would have happened. Come over here so I can see you. Tell me what would have happened if you'd have taught every month as a priest before you left on your mission.
I would have been a good, better teacher.
Okay, tell me some things that if I were in the class, and I'm sitting over here, you can sit down and we'll do it informally. What's something that would, and I'll just tell you what happened to me today. I'm walking through the group and I decided to shake hands with this young man. And one of the things he could not do, he couldn't look me in the eye. And I don't think I'm that intimidating, but I guess he knew as a guest or whatever. So if you were teaching me, oh, see, he could do it just naturally. I just look over there and he's looking at me. Okay, what else would you do if you're really an effective priest teaching?
It depends on your priest.
Okay.
But it depends on your priest and what their needs are and what level they're at. But understanding where they're at, which is the number one thing.
So you would actually adjust the lesson to them. 100%. Okay. Tell me what you would do maybe at the end of the lesson if you're really skilled and you want to be a really effective missionary.
Bear my testimony.
Okay, good. Okay, switch for a minute. Here we go. Brethren, we've just talked about repentance. And what I want to do is I want to commit each of you to engage in some level of repentance. And I promise you,
Challenge. Just a challenge.
that if you do that, you're going to be so much happier. Repentance is all about becoming, all about growing, becoming the kind of man or men that we need. So are you willing this week to identify something that you're going to do differently, that you're going to repent of? And are you willing to come back next Sunday? Are you willing to do that?
Do I have to?
No, you could pass, but would you at least give it consideration?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So, there was a couple of others that had really great ideas, but we want kids to teach. There's something that we'd really like to see. And I'll give you a hint. This happens all the time. At the end of the meeting, somebody will say this: is there anybody who would like to give the closing prayer? This is what I do. At the end I say, tell me this, how many times have you been in a sacrament meeting where the bishop got up at the end of the meeting and said, is there someone in the audience who'd like to give the closing prayer? We don't do that. Okay, so here's our segue. Okay, and those of you who've been to Philmont, you have to be silent. Okay, come on up anyway. Now, this is nothing personal, okay? Because we're going to make a couple of people feel real uncomfortable, but it's not our nature to do so. It's primarily for demonstration purposes, okay? You got it? So, I want the brother who's in the coonskip cat holding on your knee to come on down. So this is a 4-step demonstration. And by the way, it is elegant. You'll see why momentarily. Okay, we need to get somebody else. Don't take it. Okay, let's have the gentleman in the big black hat now. So that was number 1. So remember what that looked like. Number 1 is number 2. What's your first name? Sterling. Okay, Sterling, I want you to separate the U that's on the bottom from the W on top. Sterling? Do you know what, Sterling? We need to get someone else. Okay, so that was number 2. So with your partner right now, just tell us the difference between 1 and 2. Go. Okay, I want the fellow who has, at least from my observations, far and away, the most ornate, complete mountain man rendezvous out. Oh, no. Okay, come on down. Joe. Look at this guy. And Joe, don't think about using any of those knives or anything like that. Joe, which state are you from?
Mesa State!
Mesa State, that's good. Okay, Joe, would you hand them your spear for a minute? Would you give me your knife? No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so here's number 3. Okay, so what I want you to do is take the W just like this. And hold it with your left hand. And then what we're going to do is take this U, and I'm going to make it so it's just like yours. And we're going to put this part right over that part of the W. See right there? Yeah. And then slide it down. And then take this right through here and slide it up. Okay, Joe, let me tell you.
Now get it back together.
No, wait a minute. We're going to do that, Joe. I just have to tell you, it's always so great for me when it works. No, because at Philmont, I don't know if the person just sort of had a spatial disability or whatever. But, no, don't, look at that. He's back and ready. Okay, let's do it again, one more time. Oh my goodness. Okay. Would you put it back together for me? Okay, now I'll put this one back together. Okay. Stay here, stay here. Let me tell you, you knocked it out of the park and you're going to do it again. So here we go. What was number 1? Tell your partner. No instructions. Number 2.
A little bit of instruction.
Tell them what to do. Number 3.
Demonstrations.
Okay, here we go. This is number 4. This is the elegant part. The good brother in the nightcap. Yeah, you're the man. Come on down. Joe is going to teach you how to do this.
Okay. Take the W in your left hand like this. And then this part. You're taking your hand so the flat is on top and the U is on the bottom. There you go. We're going to bring this up so the U, there you go. Just put this right in the middle of the W, that little hole. Slide it, there you go. And then once you get it past, slip this part in there and up to the top again. There you go.
Okay, one more round of applause. Okay, now what I want you to do is I want you to tell me or tell your partner why this is an elegant demonstration and how it directly pertains to you in working with your boys. Go.
Demonstration and having the boys teach the other boys.
Okay, let's have our Kunstskip guy come down again. Are you the teacher's corps advisor? Oh, the coach, okay. Do you go to their priesthood meeting, their corps meeting? Why don't you just identify for me maybe 1 or 2 things that you'd want to teach a president to do and his counselors? And let's use the quorum context. That it's what do you want them to do in the quorum?
I'd like them to take the lead in teaching the lessons, to take the lead in making plans for activities, take the lead in inviting other boys to get them involved and to start recognizing how to help others.
Okay, this will sound like a rhetorical question, but how would you know that they know how to do those things?
By me sitting back and watching.
Okay, that wasn't exactly what I wanted. What did we do?
Sorry, after I teach them, after we show them, ask
yeah.
them to do it, ask them to share that with others.
Okay.
And then let them lead.
Okay. This is kind of a trick question because you're the coach as opposed to the advisor.
Oh, sorry, I'm both.
Oh, you're both. What would blow me away, and I'm going to give you a hint, if I came in the quorum and we have this opening exercise. I was going to use an adjective in front of that, but I won't. And they come in the class, and now I am the quorum president, okay? And I'm standing here. I'm standing, actually, too, maybe. And I have something right here in my hand. What would that be?
Scripture, maybe?
Those are good.
Agenda. Okay? Now, why is it such a big deal for us to have deacons, teachers, and priests learn how to do just these 2 things, how to preside and how to conduct? Well, we'll add another one, and to sit in council.
So they can do it on their mission for the first part, and so they can do it later in their lives. There's been a lot of times where I've noticed in school and work where other people didn't know how to run a meeting, but I took it for granted as a young man because we did it all the time.
Okay, that was a brilliant response. Let's give that. Okay, I have this sister come down. Are you the only sister here? Oh, well, let's have her come too. Okay. Tell us your name, sister.
Ruth.
Ruth and Lori. Okay, Ruth and Lori. This is kind of a tough question. Is your husband here?
Yes.
And he was sitting next to you?
Yes.
Would you raise your hand, husband? And where is your husband here too?
I don't know where my husband is.
Well, that's good.
He hasn't found him yet.
We may talk to you first. Okay, now this is what was so neat about what you said. When you're a boy and you're in, a troop, or you're on a team, or you're in a crew, if you're educated well, you learn how to do some things that a lot of people don't know how to do. Okay, so I want you, if you would, to describe your husband for us and something that you really love about him besides his good looks.
His old good.
Now, think about this for a minute, because I just know that a lot of time when I was serving as a member of the state presidency in an adult setting, typical people as opposed to young students, a lot of wives were just dying to have this thing be a part of their family. Go ahead.
He's kind of quiet, but he's good at making sure the jobs get done. Some of the little stuff, the chairs and all that weekly stuff that has to happen to make sure a meeting happens and gets cleaned up after.
Okay, do you sing? You do? Do you sing? Okay, come together. I told you this is going to be fun. It's going to start dating. Okay, there's a primary song.
Okay.
And it has this melody. Da 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 da. You got it? Okay, now, brethren, listen, because this is what you just told me about, except it's in a different context, and it is so important, brethren. Yeah, I mean, maybe second only to laying down really terrific connective tissue and doing a lot of it, and developing really profound relationships with boys. This is one of the profound outcomes of the Aaronic priesthood. Okay, you ready to sing the part that women sing? It goes, mine is a... Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. Do you want to give us a pitch? Mine. Mine. There we go.
Mine is a home where we should come.
Okay, they were close. They had a good start. Okay, we're going to start you over.
Okay, so
Mine is a home where every hour is blessed by the strength of priesthood power, where father and mother leading the way. That's enough. Now, we did well. Okay, stay here for a minute. So let me tell you, almost every woman that I've talked to who doesn't have somebody who's, like a member of the bishopric or just kind of inordinately good all the time, guess what they want in their homes? Yeah, they want a spiritual leader in their home.
You know what I want?
Oh, here we go. You know what I want.
Maybe there's a reason I'm my age not married, but one of the things that I especially look for in a guy is a guy that is faithful about doing his home teaching and attending the temple, among other things. But those are two. I mean, that's real serious for me.
Okay, let's give him a big hand. Okay, so here's what I'm trying to say. One of the descriptions of our Heavenly Father, and it's a very tender description for me, is we refer to him as a man of holiness. We refer to him as a man of holiness. And when we talk about his son, we sometimes use the term, he is the son of man. He's the son of a holy man. And if we were to kind of extend this, priesthood, okay, is very much associated with fatherhood. And boys who get great preparation in the Aaronic priesthood had the chance to become holy men. They had the chance to become the spiritual leaders in their homes. They had the chance to become men of Christ. We, right now, all of you, are preparing the next generation of men and fathers for the church. It is a sacred and holy obligation. I don't know of anything that's any more important than that. So when they are in our quorums, we want to make it count, so they know how to conduct the home meeting. They know how to call on somebody for prayer. Now, this is a sidebar. The church has done a lot of research on what makes a difference for boys and girls, but particularly boys. One of the things that boys absolutely love, it's a gigantic gift to them, is unhurried listening. The boy who has that experience with you will just go, wow, I really like being around him because he listens to me. So we're going to try and do everything we can to really optimize what takes them in the direction of becoming spiritual leaders in their homes. Okay. So priesthood is associated with fatherhood. The priesthood is the power of a magnificent father. All of you, again, are the preparers of fathers. Okay, now we're going to kind of transition. I don't know if we should do this, but see that gentleman right there with his knees going back and forth? Yeah. Would you come down? Tell me your first name. Don? Can you tell I'm losing my hearing?
Darrell.
Darrell. Okay, Darrell, are you ready? Did you play football? Not really. Do you mind how much? Do you mind if I ask you how much you weigh?
About 280.
280. Okay. Are you ready for this, brethren? So I want about 12 men that maybe aren't quite as big as he is to come down. 12. Come. They don't need to be from your audience. Come on down.
There you go.
This is going to be great. Okay, come on over here. Okay, Darrell, will you lay down right here in the third? Darrell, do you have good insurance? Okay, uncross your legs, please. Okay, now, brethren, this is one of the best things I ever learned. I learned it like about 6 years ago. And the multiple times I've worked with young men, I wish I had known it sooner. Because it just makes such a difference. Okay, so this is what we do. Put your head down, thank you. Okay, would you stand up, please? And I want you to stand on that side of the line. Like, no, turn around this way. Come on and put your toes right there on the line. Okay, now, you want to watch this closely because I want you to know that we did this with the biggest Utah football player that I've ever met, who was Condon. We also did it with a BYU football player who was at least as big as you are, and they were able to do it, okay? So, this is called the Big Man and the Rock. Now, we can do this with 2 more groups. So let's have the good brother come down. Yeah, you're looking at me. You're right. You're in the second row. You're looking at me right now. You just have 12 come down with you. Here's yours. And let's have the good brother who's in the very back with a white tan hat on. You come down and bring 12 with you. Here's your rock. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. This is a problem-solving activity. Now, if you feel at all like you're going to die, or your arm is going to be pulled off or whatever, you just say, no, we got to start over, okay? So what I want you to do is turn around and look at your group. Just remember where you are. And this is what they're going to do. You're going to have to figure out a way to retrieve that rock. And you can't touch the ground with anything but your hand. Okay? And you can't go beyond that line. So turn around and start talking to guys. His feet have to stay exactly right there. Yeah, okay. Or lay down right there. Would you make a mark of where his head hits and right where his feet are? Oh, wait a minute. Okay, some more instructions. See, I like what's happening. It's kind of like this creativity. None of you can go beyond that line. You all have to be back there. Let's do this so they can see. Let's put you guys back here in this corner. Yeah. So they can see. Turn sideways. Wait, do his feet have to grab one arm? Yeah. Like, we need to pick up his feet. You have to be behind the line. You can't go beyond the line. No.
He's going to need to be laid down almost flat. That's right.
Remember, wait a minute, let me give you another instruction. Remember, you can only touch the rock. You can't walk out there with your hands. You just have to reach down and pluck that thing off the dirt and back up. You can't go beyond the line. Let's have these guys move a little bit more that way. Because we want to see this one right here.
You guys are going to have to hold me because I'm going to be all stretched out. So I need like all of you to hold me. So he's going to start. You want to lean?
President Warren, are you glad we don't have to do this?
I'm going to be leaned as well.
Okay, here we go. Let's see how some of these guys do.
Hold on, guys.
Okay,
let's go.
keep going.
Man, come on this way. You gotta come. You gotta come, guys.
Oh, right there. Okay, wait. Don't share the information. Just wait. Stay right there.
Everybody's got a pivot too.
By the way, boys love doing this. And they get better at doing it.
We gotta bend this way.
We gotta go that way,
We
guys.
gotta anchor this way.
We got to bend one thing.
We gotta come this way.
We gotta come bend.
Close.
Put your feet right here. I'm gonna lean against the Come this way. This way. You gotta lean me up. Pull. No, sorry, I didn't come wrong. That was a practice. That's practice. Wait a minute. We gotta be together on this. Okay, we're ready. Bring another guy. Have two guys holding this front arm. Yeah, have two guys. When you guys from over here, back here, come up here.
So I got 2 rows deep.
So you go
already locked right there, yeah. And then lower him down slowly. There you go.
Okay, here we go. We're going to do one more. Stay there. Okay, we won't forget about that group. Okay, so I want you to get in a big half circle if you would. Okay, now this is the part. First of all, one of the reasons boys love coming here is it's never boring. And there's a bazillion things to do. And they don't do mostly this. It's action. I mean, I'd love to spend 3 or 4 days here. Even younger, older, whatever. Even a lot of you are just going around just like the boys, having as much fun as they are, right? So this is kind of the thing. In scouting activities and in mutual activities, we always do something, which is what we just done. This is kind of a fun experience. So this is what we're going to do. This is called a reflection. So we've given them experience, and we're going to start. Tell me were you in this group? Where do we start for this group? Okay, so this is what I want you to do. I want you to make a connection between this experience that you've just had and anything about the church, the gospel, Aaronic priesthood, quorums. Go.
Everything goes a lot smoother if you work together as a team and you have a group. You got the support of everybody supporting one another, and you can move together and progress together.
Okay, now watch what's going to happen.
If you don't work together, sometimes somebody can fall and get hurt.
Good.
If you don't have strong connections, you'll fail.
This is good.
Strength in numbers. When you share the same struggle, you guys understand each other better.
It never fails, brother. Anytime I've ever done this with any age group, I mean, that one was really remarkable. I mean, I love the other ones, but that one was really spot on. And anybody in there saying, wait a minute, you just said, when you share the struggles of others, you get to understand them better. Was that basically it? Okay, here we go.
Well, you can accomplish great things, but in order to really accomplish great things, you have to incorporate the strength of people that care about you.
Okay, good.
It hurts to fall, but it's nice when you have folks around you to pick you up.
I kind of agree with him. A quorum can be a lifeline to the one.
Each different member in that group had a key role. Without, all of them working together, just one of them would have made that trial not accomplishment.
Okay, let's give them all a big hand. Now, the person who really developed this idea, or gave it body, was Brad Harris, who wrote the book Trails to Testimony. Some of you are familiar with that book. But this is what we hope we'll do. Like tonight, if you learned something just now, and you're back at the campfire, you're going to say, what I'd like you to do for a minute is I want you to think about the experiences you've had today. Just think about the experiences you've had today, and then I want you to just kind of ponder them, and then reflect on them as they relate to us, to the gospel, or to your family, and then I want you to be ready to share. Does that make sense? Now, by the way, any answer is fine. Young men who want to pass, that's fine. But this is what's so neat. When men do this really well, eventually, guess who else does it really well?
The boys.
Who else does it really well?
Well, the young men will.
Yeah, and what will they do as dads?
What's that?
What will they do as dads?
Well, they're going to emulate you.
Yeah. And their dad. Yeah. They're going to emulate you. Now, we call this bundling. Not bumbling. Bundling. And what it does is it takes a series of activities that we have them engage in, and then around the campfire or other special moment, we have them reflect so they can make sense of it. Okay, now, I'm going to have you all vote on this. This will kind of give you a feel if you bundled this activity. How many of you had your boys bring their scriptures to this event? Raise your hands. Okay, that's bundling. okay, phones count. Yeah. How many of you had them bring a journal with them? Okay. How many of you would have done a reflection tonight without any kind of assistance or help? You did one last night. Oh. Quite a few of them, did. Okay, I just want to think if there's anything else that I want to share with you. Maybe one last thing that takes us back to the very beginning. That is, how many of you have been to Woodmatch? Would you raise your hands? Oh my goodness. Okay, who's somebody who absolutely for sure knows the methods of scouting? Somebody who just knows it exceedingly well. Come on down. Okay, but I'm gonna make it a little bit harder for you, okay?
I was gonna say 7/8.
Okay, that's good, that's good. So, just give us a few of them just randomly, not in order.
Uniforming,
Okay?
adult, association with adult leadership, advancement.
Good.
How many do you want more?
One more. Okay, come here.
Patrol method.
Patrol
method, there we go.
Patrol method, that was good. Okay, let's just start with this one. Go ahead. You just read it.
Personal growth, leadership development, uniform, ideals. Patrol method, boy-led, adult association, outdoor real-life experiences.
Okay, that's it. Okay, and advancing. Now this is what I want you to do, and this will kind of, then we can open this up to maybe some questions. What would you say, out of all of those that you just read, from a boy's perspective, is the most important one?
Outdoor real-life experience.
Okay, good. Now, by the way, I can always, this is a term I use sometimes, so please forgive me. And I hope I don't offend any of you. I sometimes use the term scout Nazi. Do you have any idea what a scout Nazi is? Well, why don't you just try this for a minute? Why don't you tell your partner what you think a scout Nazi is? Go. Did you hear what he said to me? He said I might be one. That was good. Okay, so here, we'll hold that in your mind for a minute, because I hope today you'll just say, no, I'm not a scout Nazi, and here's why. Okay, so the first one you said was outdoor experience.
I think the boys love the outdoor experience.
And this is what this is all about, right?
They just come for the fun of it.
Yeah. Okay, so I agree totally. Let's go to number 2. What's your number 2? Now be careful. I'll give you a hint.
I would say advancement.
Nazi! Okay, now let me explain that, because I have the Eagle Award, and I had a lot of merit badges, and I loved achievement. But Scout Nazis put achievement where? First. They make it first. Are you going to repent, brother?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. A lot of stress on it.
Okay. Are you feeling more comfortable now? Now I just called you a Nazi and tried to get you to repent.
I said I might.
Okay, yeah, here it is. Okay, so number 1 is outdoor experience. What do you think is going to be number 2 for boys?
For the boys?
Yeah, for the boys. I'm going for 3 that are at the top. It would make you no scout Nazi. I'll give you a hint. It starts with adult.
Adult association with the scout leader.
Why?
Because he's the one that takes them on the campouts.
Well, what else does he do with toilet paper type stuff?
He connects with them.
Yeah, he connects with them.
Not all of us are that good, though.
Okay.
We're still learning.
Well, maybe if you'd spend less time on achievement, they would like you more. No, okay, I'm really sorry about that. Please don't put that on the tape, okay? Okay, now there's a number 3 that is just like, this will help you do it just right on the money. Number 3 has a lot to do with what we've talked about today. Like, the Aaronic priesthood, if it's done right, prepares boys to become the spiritual leaders in their homes. So what is the next method?
Patrol method.
Yeah, patrol method, boy-led. Okay, now are you ready for your, okay. You are no longer a scout Nazi, at least in terms of your speak.
I'm just the committee chairman.
Oh, okay. Okay, but you're going to have a lot more emphasis on those 2, boy-led and outdoor experiences. Now let me just say something about achievement. Achievement should be a natural outcome of outdoor experiences and boy-led. If we do it that way, then when kids get to be varsity scouts, they don't go, I hate scouting, because it was down their throats. You got it? It was shoved down their throats by the
Nazis.
He's getting good. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay, so stay with me for that. Yeah, I think you can relax. Let me just see. Yeah, you're good. Okay. So what I want you to do is let's play like you were just down in the audience, and I'm your study buddy. I'm sitting next to you, and you're going to kind of give me some things that you're going to walk away with as a result of being here today.
Well, we got to do that reflection. That's really important.
Okay, good. You're going to lay down what kind of tissue?
We're going to lay down that connective tissue. We might use some toilet paper to do that with, because it breaks easy.
Yeah, it breaks easy. You don't want it to break. Okay, tell me what this means.
We are going to we're going to show them how to be that leader and how to teach.
And the way we know that they really know how to do it is
we're going to explain it, and then we're going to demonstrate it to them, and then we're going to walk them through it.
And then what do?
Do it.
Teach to someone else.
Oh. Okay, brethren.
Isn't that the
Yes. It's called Edge.
Edge.
It's called Edge. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, it's 3:05, and we want to, Bernia, why don't you just stand for a second, turn around, say hi, sit down, and
Say hi to the guy that turned around.
Okay, brother, if you'd be seated. Okay, why don't we just take maybe 10 minutes and let's see if you have any questions that you want to throw this way. Yes. Okay, just a minute.
It was more of a comment. I was thinking, I didn't quite have anyone to bounce ideas off of, but as you were talking about the connective tissue and everything, I'm a software engineer by trade, and when two computer systems aren't in sync, they haven't achieved quorum, and that's an actual computer science quorum. And so when we talk about our quorums, that's something that we should be achieving. Is achieving quorum, achieving that connective tissue like you talked about, and I think we almost like take for granted the word quorum and just think of it as like just a group, but it's not. It's much more than that. It's something we should be working towards.
So this comes back to that the quorum is more than a class. It's really kind of organic. It's going to grow if we nurture it in the right ways. We start with the president, and then the presidency, then the love can just emanate. This good brother back here with the glasses on, I think the question was, what about young men that we have on our teams who are not members of the church? Okay. How do we help them without being overzealous? Actually, I was talking to President Moore, right? Tune. Quiet on Moore. Tune, Brother President.
That's Brother Moore.
I just wanted to do this with you for just a
Ernie
minute.
Moore's right there.
And it's something we didn't talk about, and I think if President Beck were here, he would talk a lot about this.
Which one's Ernie Moore?
Having young men on your team who are not members of our faith is phenomenal. Phenomenal. And what you do is you do with them the same kind of thing we would do on the reflection. And that is, you always want to make young men who don't want to share something to say it's okay. When you're ready and you think it's right, fine. So you try not to be imposing, you just try to make it be a natural thing. Let me tell you a sweet story. A lot of wards who have, and by the way, I think the most fertile area for this to happen is with cubs. And I just want you to think about this. We have about 80,000 missionaries. It costs about $400 a month to keep them out there doing what they're doing. okay? So I want you to calculate what it costs to get one person to come to a meeting in our church who's not a member of our faith. So if there's 6 missionaries in your ward, that's $2,400, and they maybe have 1 or 2 or maybe 3 come on Sunday. What does that cost?
$800.
Okay. What does it cost for us to have a boy in our Cub program, or scouting, or varsity scouts, or venturing, and they come to our church, just kind of come?
25.
Yeah, well, it's not very expensive. So I think the safe answer is you just are there for them. You make sure they feel totally comfortable. But this is kind of the caveat. This one boy who was actually in a Cub pack. And what they would do is when they went to the sister's home for their, meeting, they would have a prayer. And guess what this boy said who's not a member of the faith? I want to be able to say a prayer. Could I do it this time, and would you help? Isn't that neat? So it's just letting it sort of happen, but not being imposing. And you'll know, and your boys will know when it's too much and when it's too little. Does that make sense? Okay. A couple more questions. President Toon, I'm practicing that name.
How do you connect with a kid that their parents just make them show up?
How do you connect with kids that just are forced to go or don't like camp out?
Okay. I'll bet there's some people in the audience who have an answer for that.
I'd like to relate an experience that I had. I used to live in Missouri, and when I was the scoutmaster in Missouri, I had a young boy who was the son of the bishop, and he did not want to do scouting. He hated scouting with a passion. He did not want to come on any campouts, and he was forced to, and it got really ugly. And we did everything we could to work with him. And we thought that we were complete failures with this boy. This kid was so bad that he actually was shipped out to Arizona to the Anasazi camp. So he was out here at Anasazi. He ran away from Anasazi 3 times. They tracked him, followed him down to Phoenix, took him back to camp. A couple years later, I got a letter from him with his Eagle Scout announcement. And a thank you for all the hard work that we did with him. We thought we were total failures with him the entire time he was there. But through reflection of what he had learned then, and through the Anasazi program, and later on, he went back and thought back of all the things that led him to where he was at that point. So we may not think we're doing anything with him, but that's not the case.
Toss it to you.
We had a young boy in our troop, our team, that he in the Scoutmaster conference he told us that school was more important than scouting for him. He was doing all these extra things and extracurricular activities which prevented him from coming to mutual a lot of times. And now he's our team captain, and you've seen this change in him because we just kept inviting. We just kept inviting and showing love. There's no right answer. There's no formula for getting those kids to come and want to be a part of the scouting program. You have to find that formula per child. Each one is different. Each one is unique. But when they feel that love, when they feel that spirit, and they start to feel that it's important for themselves, it changes their entire world.
So let's wrap up, brethren. I think one of the things I would say again in response to that question is relationships eclipse everything. And if a boy doesn't right off the bat want to be involved in the things that you're doing, one of the things you do is you find out what he likes to do. Usually they will do things they like to do. But the other thing is you're going to see them all these other times. They're going to be in your quorum. You're going to keep that relationship front and center because that's what makes the difference. Finally, I just want to thank you. There are about 250,000 men like you in the church that work with boys, that prepare boys to become men, young men to be missionaries, missionaries to husbands, husbands to fathers. There is no greater work than preparing them to be the spiritual leaders in their home. So I just want to thank you. I know if President Watson were here, he would just thank you for being with these boys, connecting with them, laying down the tissue that they need to be the kind of man that we need in the church. This is your time. What a great, great time you have with boys. And may it continue, and may God bless you everywhere. I pray in the name of Jesus Christ.
Amen.
One quick note, if you're a member of the state presidency and you're here, we have something special for you we'd like to give you after the prayer.
Thanks, Brother Egan. Appreciate it. Winston is going to give us a benediction.
Dear Father in heaven, we are privileged to have been here, to have been taught, to be reminded of those things that are so important as we work with these young men. May we be instilled with that love for these young men. They may know of our love for them, whatever our personality. We may be influential in their lives as they strive to become men and future leaders in our gospel. We pray in the name of Jesus Christ.
Amen.
All right, thank you.
I'll edit it.
Tonight.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.